We are live.
We are live.
Are you ready for tonight, brother?
I am ready. I'm adjusting my audio levels here because that's a thing that people do. So we got it dialed in now.
We came out with a lot of energy on this one. Oh, sweet. I'm super pumped for tonight, dude. We got okay. People are starting to pour in now. As everybody starts to come in, let us know your name. Tell us where you're from and what you're excited about in life right now. And we're gonna just let people start trickling in. And we're excited about tonight. Frankie, tell me what's going on in your world right now.
Man, I am really excited about what we've going on tonight. I had a really amazing day, right? So at the start of my day, I started it off with a very focused meditation where I was really asking myself what I wanted out of life. And then right after my meditation, I wrote down the things that I knew I needed to do to push my businesses forward. And I took the highest leverage ones first, and then the rest of them fell like dominoes throughout the day. Stuart, Australia, welcome. What do we got going on? Okay, so let me see if I can do the time differential. What is it, 11 o'clock a.m. tomorrow for you, Stuart? Drop us a note, Stuart. Let us know what time it is. Mike B. from Baltimore, welcome, man.
Yeah. It's like we have 21 attendees so far right now. Where's everybody at? Where's everybody from? I'd love to hear what you're excited about. 1 p.m. Friday. Fantastic, Stuart.
I know, Stuart, you're living in the future, man. Like, tell us, what's the stock market doing? What should we bet on? That's a dumb joke, Stuart. You don't have to say anything in response to that.
I'll bet on you, Frankie. I'll bet on you, brother.
Bet on me, kid. One of my high school baseball coaches, that was his general saying. I'm betting on you. Lauren from Orange County. Josh from England at 2 o'clock. Stuart says, yes, indeed, he is in the future. Stuart, I admire you, man.
Fantastic. Looks like 23 people.
Welcome, everybody. Trinidad and Tobago, truly a global audience tonight, Ryan.
We're representing all around the world.
Nicole, welcome.
Brothers and sisters.
Welcome, people. Yes, just keep going, keep coming in. We're going to have people pouring in here for the next 3 or 4 minutes or so. So just bear with us. Lauren says that's commitment. Yeah, make sure, Josh, that we're going to deliver a massive amount of value to you because you're staying up late.
Absolutely. You're going to love what's coming on tonight. Absolutely love it. Oh, is it Siren from New Zealand? Nice. Very nice. Welcome. Portland.
Siren and I talked about 3 hours ago, Ryan.
Cool.
We had a great little chat. So, my man, welcome to round 2. Stuart at a space-time continuum. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
No, we create our own roads. Josh, we'll wake you up tonight. We got so much energy in the house. We're gonna try to tame it down a little bit for everyone. It's just kind of just exploding. We got Dale from Australia. Man, we're everywhere around the world. Myson from Carolina.
Irish spelling. Kirian.
Thank you.
Did we say that right?
I didn't say it right the first time, but.
Well, that's okay. I forgive you. I forgive you, my friend.
Spelling wasn't my cup of tea in school. I had to pay someone to do my spelling test for me.
That's what the internet's for now.
I didn't have the internet when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh. Well, now you just outsourced it, so it's all good.
Amen. Yep, that's what entrepreneurs do. They sell that stuff out.
Ibrahim from Las Vegas, my man, circa Bengali originally. Nice. Welcome.
Good.
What a global audience we've got going on here. And stick with us, guys. We're just letting people pour in here. Just give us 2 or 3 more minutes and we're going to get going here.
We are. We're going to get rocking. Absolutely rocking. We're in special treats tonight. We're going to be talking about how to create freedom in your life, how to generate income, $1,000 plus a month into your bank account every month, how to be a part of a community to like grow your success much faster. I'm just excited about what we're going to be sharing. And Frank's got some amazing stories that he just blew my mind on the last webinar, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say tonight.
Matthew, you're back. Welcome, my man. Yeah, I remember the review software. Matthew and I talked, what was it, Matthew? Maybe like 2 weeks ago or so. Welcome. I'm glad that you're coming. Brian from San Francisco. Aaron from Texas. Brian says howdy. Brian, I think Aaron is supposed to say howdy because Aaron's the Texas and you're the San Francisco. What would a more San Francisco appropriate greeting be? Top of the evening to you? That'd probably be more like London.
Top of the evening to ya, eh?
Top of the evening to ya.
Oh, surprisingly. That's good. Aaron. I got some redneck in me. Yeah, me too, Brian. Yeehaw! I'm from the cornfields of Iowa. That's where I grew up. Got our pickup trucks, pull them around in a circle, have a bonfire in the middle, and drink keg beer.
You know, the worst thing about, have you ever actually had a pickup truck?
Oh, yeah, dude.
So how many people did you help move is my question.
Oh, well,
like everyone you know is the probable answer.
Yeah. Everybody I knew had pickup trucks, and we turned it into a big event. So like when someone was moving, someone had, the beer enjoyment and, football usually. So, but I did help a lot of people move with that truck. That is for sure.
Guys, if you're just getting in, drop us a line in the chat box. Let us know who you are. Let us know where you're coming from tonight. We've got a global audience. We've got Matthew. We've got Josh. We've got Brian. We've got Mike B. We've got my boy Matthew. Did I already say that? It doesn't matter.
Yep. At 35 years old, I call that. Yeah, I understand, Brian, for sure.
Lauren, Matthew and I spoke, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. We talked about Matthew's review software that he's building for restaurants.
That's what we do. We help people grow businesses. Oh.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's 6:05. We'll probably have some more people start to drift on in. And I'm thinking maybe we should start rolling into it. What do you think? All right.
I'm ready to go. Guys, if you're just getting in, drop us your name, drop us where you're at. Josh from Mississippi. Another Josh, welcome. Matthew's looking for Canadians. Yeah, so as you guys are coming in, drop us your name, drop us where you're from. We're really, really excited to bring this stuff to you. And I've got a special unplanned surprise that we're going to lead things off with. It's a process that I take myself and other people through to get absolute clarity on what they want. Right. So we're going to lead off with that. It's a special process. Tina, hey. That sounded like Tina Fey.
Hey, girl, hey. All right. Let me get this screen share thing going on here, and we'll start the show. Get the education on. All right. Let me know if you can everybody see the screen here?
We got you.
Cool. Go to presentation mode.
All right, everybody that's ready for this, drop us a 1 in the chat box. Drop us a 1 in the chat box if you're ready to get this thing going.
Woo!
Josh, Mark, Matthew, Tina, drop us a 1 if you're ready to go. Matthew, we know you're ready to go. Drop us a 1, man. There we go. Mark's ready. Matthew's ready. Brian, Dale, Mike B's ready. Aaron's ready, and I consulted with him about pest control. That's right, Aaron. I remember talking with you, man. 2, Stuart. I like it, being the nonconformist. We teach rules in the foundation, then we teach breaking rules. Okay. So first off, I want to welcome you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for investing your time, which we'll talk about what exactly time means to us truly a little bit later on, but thank you for investing your time. So what I wanted to start off with was a little story. Okay, so for all of human history, right? So from forever ago until the early 1950s, people thought that it was biologically impossible for a human being to run a sub 4-minute mile. Okay, so this is literally thousands of years of human history, and they thought that it was biologically impossible for somebody to run the 4-minute mile. Okay, in 1952, there was a guy who I'm not going to tell you his name yet. There was a guy who placed 4th at the Helsinki Olympics in the 1,500 meter race. Okay, so here's a guy who placed 4th in the 1,500 meters at the Olympics. So he's a high class guy, a high level athlete, but he didn't win the gold. 2 years later, in 1954, Roger Bannister became the first human being ever to run a sub 4-minute mile. Okay. So here we go from all of human history to 1954. No one has run a sub 4-minute mile because they believe that it was physically impossible for a human being to do so. So in 1954, at a tiny little track, Roger Bannister runs a sub 4-minute mile. Okay. That record, can you guys guess how long it lasted for? It wasn't a year. It wasn't 10 years. It wasn't 20 years. Roger Bannister's sub 4-minute mile, which was the first in all of human history, lasted for 46 days. And within the year after Roger Bannister proved that it was possible to run a sub 4-minute mile, 27 other people ran a sub 4-minute mile. Okay, so what I want to get us kicked off here, and the reason for that story, is vision. Okay, our guy Napoleon Hill, who's written great books like Outwitting the Devil, says you can only achieve what you believe or can conceive of, right? So the idea is that whatever you believe is possible for your life or your business is what is truly possible for your life or your business. Okay, the reason that I told the Roger Bannister story is because everybody thought it was impossible until they saw some other guy did it. And as soon as they saw some other guy do it, they gave themselves permission to believe that it was possible. And then 27 other people ran a sub 4-minute mile within a year of it being proven possible. Okay, that's the power of vision. What is possible in life is whatever you truly believe is possible. So I want to take you guys through a process here before we really dive in. And this is something where I want you guys just to write some notes as I take you guys through this process, because ultimately this process is going to determine what's going to be possible for you in your life. So the first thing that I want you guys to write down on your piece of paper is your vision for what your ultimate and ideal experience in life looks like. Okay, so notice what I did not say there. I did not say what you think is reasonable or what you think you can achieve in the next 3 months or 6 months. I want you to write down on a piece of paper what your ideal experience in life looks like. I want you to write down what that looks like financially. I want to write down who you're going to be around, where you're going to be in the world. I want you to write down and feel what emotions would it feel like for you to have become that person. Okay, I really want you guys to consider what we're going to be talking about today is the process of how do you go about building a business starting from absolutely nothing. But before we can do that powerfully enough, we need to help you guys see, why are you doing this? What is it that you're chasing? What emotions do you want to feel? What impact do you want to have? All right. If you guys have gotten that written down, the next thing that I want you to consider is what your commitment level like is. Matthew says I froze. Am I still good? Drop me a 1 if I'm good.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you fine.
Okay. So the next thing that I want you guys to write down is, how committed are you to that vision? Okay, so you've got your big vision around what you want out of life, what your ultimate outcome and your ultimate experiences in life, right? So after you've written that down, I want you to write down, how committed am I to this vision? So imagine a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you're not committed at all. 10 being you're going to reach down deep into your gut. You're going to wake up at 4 in the morning if it's necessary. You're going to stay up late if it's necessary, right? You're going to do the uncomfortable things. Write down what your level of commitment is to achieving your ultimate experience in life and your ultimate experience in business. Okay. The last thing that I want you guys to write down, right now, you know your vision, you know your level of commitment. I want you to write down what your roadblocks are. Okay. So write down whatever it is you think is stopping you from getting that ultimate experience out of life, right? Is it a belief that you're scared? Is it that you think you don't have the right strategy, tactics, tools to accomplish what's necessary? Do you believe you don't have the credibility or experience that you need for someone to take you seriously? Whatever that looks like for you, I want you guys to write down what those roadblocks are. And here's the message that I want you guys to walk away with once you've seen that. Whatever you guys have written down on as your roadblocks, it ultimately comes down to one thing: belief. Whatever you think is standing in your way boils down to a set of beliefs that are either consciously or subconsciously sabotaging your ability to get what you want. the strategy and skills are going to be available to you guys. We're going to talk about them tonight, right? But I want to leave you guys here with an understanding of what's ultimately stopping you is one thing, and that's your belief. Roger Bannister had the belief that it was possible, and because of that, he created the gift for the rest of humanity that it was possible, and 27 other people followed in his footsteps within a year. All right, so we're going to blast off now. We're going to take you guys through the process of what it's going to look like. What are those strategies? What are those tactics? What does it look like to be able to get that big, grand, ideal outcome that you're looking for? All right, Ryan, take us away, my man.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much for that. I love that activity. It just starts to open up, the possibilities for us in life. And that's one thing here at the foundation that's so powerful is we believe in every single one of you, and we believe that you can create anything that you truly desire. And we have stories upon stories of people who've gone through this process and that you're going to go through tonight, and it's changed their lives. We've been on Forbes, Mixergy, Upstart, AppSumo, Smart Passive Income, Business Insider, Harvard Business Publishing, Under 30 CEO, and more. What we teach is something that is just absolutely powerful, and it changes people's lives, as you will see tonight. All right, guys, I am so excited to go through this with you. All right, let's start rolling. So the question that I like to ask everyone is, do you have the total freedom to do everything you desire? Do you have the total freedom to do everything you desire? And one of the questions you could ask is, could you walk away from work, go on vacation for 12 months, and still have reoccurring revenue coming in without working a minute on vacation? Now, tonight we'll show you a way of how you can build a business that will allow you to have that passive income so that you can go on that 12 months vacation and still have revenue coming in without you having to work. Now, it takes work to create that, and we'll show you the work that needs to be done through tonight's webinar. All right, so are you willing to fight for it? Are you willing to fight for freedom? Are you willing to fight for yourself? See, money won't create success. The freedom to make it will. And that's super important. And Nelson Mandela he polished that up in just a perfect quote. And I'm glad I could find that for tonight's webinar. And would it make it easier for you to know that thousands of educated entrepreneurs all over the world would be helping you create freedom? Would it make it simpler and much more easy for you to say yes? All of us here tonight are from around the world learning information that can help us create freedom. And there's more to it than just right here. So we are a community right here to help you create the freedom you deeply desire. And I'm so pumped. And promise page got altered here. Sorry about that. But from tonight's webinar, I'm going to promise you one thing. You will feel alive with excitement. You will learn how to build businesses that provide pathways to more and more freedom. You'll acquire skills that lead to your personal honor and outstanding talent that also lead to living a life at the highest potential. And from tonight's webinar, you'll obtain knowledge and information to create an abundant life of freedom that you desire, as well as we did. And you'll also be able to create complete financial security and total life choice. So the breakthroughs that we're going to have tonight, this is what you're going to get. You're going to learn how to start a business from nothing. You're going to figure out how to come up with perfect product ideas, how to sell products before they even exist. You'll be able to get a support team to keep you moving during the challenging times. And you'll figure out how to become profitable in 90 days. And as a bonus, if we have extra time tonight, we'll teach you how to scale your business into the millions. But in order for us to proceed, I want everybody's focus. So get a piece of paper and pen, pencil, turn off your cell phones, turn off the alerts and notifications. This is sacred time. This is time for us to learn and take this information so we can immediately go apply it and get results. Because what's the value of knowledge without getting results from it? And to me, that's just a waste. So I want you to get everything you possibly can from tonight's webinar so that you can get the freedom that you ultimately want. All right. And if you stay to the end, we'll provide links to the slideshow, resources. There's also going to be a really cool quiz with a prize. We'll give you lifetime license to my business dashboard software. It's like a $2,400 a year value. And there will also be an opportunity to join our next Business Builders Mastermind. As you can see down at the bottom, there's like a little sneak peek of the dashboard and what it could look like for you and your business.
And Ryan, I want to really encourage everybody. So Ryan's last slide encouraged you to get out a pen and paper. And the reason that I like to advise people to get out a pen and paper is when you're actually writing with a physical pen on physical paper, your brain is making neurological connections. So it's actually helping you learn and integrate the material better if you're writing this stuff down rather than just trying listening or trying looking at the slides. So I really encourage you to write the stuff down, right? Because again, not only is it going to help you integrate this material better, but Ryan's going to give a little quiz at the end, and he's going to give you guys a lifetime access to his business dashboard software for one person. So take some notes. You've invested the time to be here, so I challenge and invite you to really be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just love the genius.
And Ryan, we've got some notes coming in that folks can't see the slides.
Looking at Frank's webcam. Interesting.
Looking at Frank's webcam. Let's see.
There. How's that, everyone?
I think it's just gonna. There we go. So I can see the slides right now. Who else can see the slides now? Let us know in the chat box. That's just Frank's big, beautiful face.
What on earth?
Yes, Brian, yes. Okay, now we got slides. Go back to what you were doing.
Woo! Go out of the vortex. Oh, love it. Okay,
right, you guys got the slides. We were that was intentional. We wanted to make sure everyone was paying attention and engaged.
Whoops, we don't want to do that. We don't want to share. Done. All right, cool.
Hall of Mirrors. Sean, Josh, Nicole, Tina, thank you guys for chipping in, giving us some feedback on that. Thomas, Ralph.
Yeah. All right, cool. Good on sides, too many windows. Yes, I have a lot of windows open. All right, cool. So here's a little picture of that. So you want to stay at the end to get access to that quiz opportunity. All right, so here we go. Roadblocks and solutions to success. So a lot of times we hear when people are starting businesses or they have a business and they're not getting the success that they truly desire. Some of the roadblocks that they run into is, hey, I have too little time. I'm not able to do this. Well, we found with going with 1,500 students that if you can create 2 hours of distraction-free focus time a day and you make it sacred, you can get that business up and running to a place where it is going to provide you with that freedom and that smart passive income. And one of the other roadblocks I get is, I don't have the skills to build a business. I don't know what to do. I have too many unknowns. And really what that comes down to is a willingness to fail. Like once you adapt and a willingness to fail, and you learn from your failures and you grow and you learn to outsource the things that you're not good at and the things that you don't have skills at, you'll ultimately be able to move faster, quicker, and stronger. And you'll also be able to pick up knowledge and wisdom along the way that you'll be able to apply in other places of your life as well as your business. Another roadblock is I don't know. I really have a hard time hearing this one. We have the power of the internet. We have communities available, people to ask. And really what I hear is when I hear I don't know is you need to take action and learn from experience rather than hypotheticals. And so that's how you really get to know is you take action and you do. And another thing I get is from some people is like, hey, I feel guilty when I'm working on my business and like maybe I should be spending time with, my friends or my family. And yes, you got to make sure you have that time too. But if you're really clear on your why, then you can really push through the guilt, and actually the guilt is a byproduct of something different. And like we did earlier, let's get rid of distractions and you create that sacred space to work from. Also, some of the things I run into is little action. You just gotta want it. When you want it, like little action is not a problem. You can just bust through and just keep working. All right, here. Frank, do you want to speak into any of the roadblocks here real quick?
Yeah, I do. Right. So Ryan talks about 2 hours of distraction-free focus. And I want to let you guys know. So I talked to dozens of potential foundation students as well as coach current students inside the foundation. And I've got a very good idea of what makes a successful entrepreneur that goes through the foundation. It's never the best idea, right? It's never the most clever person. There's one thing that makes a quality and successful entrepreneur over the long term, and that's commitment. Right. So I want to share with you guys a little bit of a story around 2 hours of distraction-free focus time, because I can feel inside some of your brains, you're thinking, I need to do this for 8 to 10 hours a day, every single day, in order to really blow this out of the water. Right. You're thinking, I need to pour every spare second in. Right. So there's the idea of the 20-mile march versus the 50-mile march. There was a book written by a guy named Jim Collins called Good to Great. Okay. And this was about two groups of explorers who were seeking to be the first group to reach the North Pole. Okay. So group number one was the 50-mile march group. What their plan of attack was on days when the weather was clear, they were going to go as hard as they can and march 50 miles. On days when the weather was a little bit gloomy, when there was a blizzard, when it was too windy, these people were going to do nothing. They were going to sit in their tents and they were going to shield themselves from the forces of the elements. Okay. Then there was the 20-mile march group. The 20-mile march group said, we're going to march 20 miles every single day. If the weather is good and we feel strong and we feel like we can go more than 20 miles, we're not. We're going to go 20 miles. If the weather is bad, if we feel tired, we're going to go 20 miles no matter what. Okay. So can you guess which group made it and which group didn't? The 50-mile march group, none of them made it. Half of them died. The 20-mile march group all survived and they made it. So the key that I want you guys to take away is that entrepreneurship and building a business like this is not a lot of activity in a short period of time. It is a little amount of time every single day over a long period of time. And those are the qualities of a successful entrepreneur, is you make your action a ritual and a habit, and you do it every single day over a long period of time. You guys might have heard the quote, people often overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 3 years' time. And that goes directly back to the concept of the 20-mile march versus the 50-mile march. Ryan, take it away, man. Keep us rolling.
Oh, thank you, brother. Love that story. And when people run into roadblocks, they often say, maybe there's a different path for me. Maybe there's something else I should be doing. And they confuse their results with what their drive and mission is. And so some of the questions come up. Maybe I should go back to school and get my MBA. Maybe I should go to Harvard and spend $158,000 on an MBA program. And then maybe, after I graduate from Harvard, I can get a good salary at $125,000 a year, which is about the average post-graduation salary at Harvard. So you top $158,000 on top of a bachelor program, maybe $30,000 to $50,000 in debt there. You're in debt, you're going to college, you're going to have $125,000 of postgraduate income, and you're also taxed as an employee, which is the worst tax bracket you could possibly be at in the United States. And so really, it's not going to provide you freedom. An MBA program, it's not geared for that. It's teaching you how to be a really good manager. So people start to come up, well, maybe how about starting a business? That's going to give me freedom. And according to MBA.gov, the average cost to start a business is $30,000 with an 80 to 90% failure rate. An 80 to 90% failure rate. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? What about these businesses that are super successful and they're consistent? You see them popping up everywhere. Well, oftentimes those are franchises. Actually, most of the time they are franchises. And the cool thing with franchises is you actually do get a 90% success rate with a franchise. And average price of a franchise is $50,000 to $75,000 to up about $200,000. I think McDonald's right now is at $1 million to buy a franchise from them. Plus you have to pay them royalties, plus other business startup costs on top of that. And then you get locked into buying resources from them like cups and ketchup and mustard and all this other stuff to run the business. So there's really low freedom to build how you best see fit. And you can't really change it when you're stuck or you can't really change the business model when you're stuck in a franchise. They won't allow it. It's against their rules and the contracts and all that legal good stuff. So, but the thing is there's a proven model for success. It's proven. And it's pretty much copy and paste. But for a lot of us, including me, it's like, that's boring. How am I really going to have that much impact? So some of the alternatives out there, and Frank, if you want to cut in, just go ahead and jump in here, bro.
Forget boring. Who's got like $500,000 to invest in a franchise?
Not me. The other way you can do it, you can do an arbitrary bootstrap network. So like you hear people building businesses on, Google's algorithm, like their search engines using SEO. And you hear people starting businesses on Amazon or eBay. And, there's PPC businesses, which is pay-per-click and affiliate programs. But the issue with these is it's not long-term secure. What happens is you get something ranked on Amazon's, algorithm for their products, and you're making money. But what happens when Amazon changes their algorithm and you lose rankings overnight? I have friends all over the world that have high rankings on Google. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on Google, and Google turned on Panda or Penguin or Hummingbird, and boom, just like that, they lose their income. The revenue's gone. So what you want to do is build a business that has a foundation and you own that personal network. You own that network. It's yours. And so that way you can avoid the horrors of relying on someone else's private network. Like you can control this, and it's much more secure and much more stable and long-term sustainable. That's good. That's what provides a freedom business. It's one of the variables. Some of the other variables for a freedom business is low-cost operating margins, predictable recurring revenue. That's that passive revenue we were talking about earlier. Has perfect product to market fit. When your product fits the marketplace and the demands of your market, it just becomes super easy to grow a business in this space. Another variable is low maintenance costs. When you can keep your maintenance costs low, it helps you run a simple business, and it helps you scale it much quicker too. See, the other benefit too of a freedom-based business is it's reliable, and we'll teach you how to create one with zero risk. How does that sound for everybody? Let me hear a one if that sounds good, or let me know what you think about that. Frank, speak to me. Give me some wisdom about a freedom business.
Yeah, we want you guys. Matthew, Dale, your name. Dave, your name. Guys, drop us a one if you guys want to really go into beyond the variables of a freedom business. If you guys want to hear exactly how we do it. Stuart, let me hear you. Sean, Mike B, Lauren, Matt, Josh, Nicole, let me hear you guys. Do you guys want to hear this? We want to hear it. Yeah. All right, Ryan.
All right, let's pour into it. Let's get hot. Turn it on. Ooh. All right, so here's how we start to do it. When we start to cut costs and reduce risk, and ultimately reduce that 80 to 90% failure rate of starting a business that's not in a franchise model, what we want to do is actually focus on the relationships in your marketplace. So when you pick a niche, an industry that you're working with, and you're starting to work inside of that, building strong relationships is going to ultimately help you grow for the long term. So you can find big problems that people are experiencing, and when you can speak to their pain and clearly communicate a solution, it's going to set you up for something that's absolutely amazing that we'll get into here in a little bit. Once you move into finding good or creating good relationships and finding painful problems, we can move into pre-selling a solution before ever investing a dime. So you can actually pre-sell a product that you create before you create it. And what that does is actually test the idea with the marketplace rather than just using your mind to test it, right? Because we're not working with hypotheticals here. We're working with reality and truth. And so when you can pre-sell something, that validates that the product is a great idea and people are willing to buy and invest in it. So it validates the economic proficiency from the start, and it's the best way to start momentum in a business. So when you can start a business, this is really cool. When you can start a business already being profitable, like it makes growth so much easier. And moving back into the relationships, when you can empower the new relationships, it actually starts to begin to grow your business for you. And it actually begins to start marketing it for you by leveraging relationships. And I can give you a little quick story on how to do that. When I was working with a customer or a client, and I was talking about the idea and I was pre-selling it to them, he loved it. And I said, hey, Brandon was his name. And I said, Brandon, do you know anybody else who's suffering from the same problems that you're suffering with in your business? And he's like, yeah, my friend here in a different state, and I know this other business owner in this other state. It really came down to like 3 to 5 other referrals that he was providing me with. And I asked him, I said, hey, Brandon, would you just send them an email and carbon copy me and introduce us and just tell them what I'm doing for you and see, just tell them, hey, maybe Ryan can help you the same way he helped me. And what that's doing is just exponentially growing your business by referrals. And it's a powerful way of doing that. And we'll start to dive in deeper of how to set that relationship up so it becomes pain-free and easy. Frank, anything you'd like to add in here?
No, I'm really excited to talk about the way to build a business backwards. So can you actually take me on to the next slide?
For sure. All right, backwards business growing. How's this sound for everybody?
So you guys are looking at this slide. I'm going to ask you, don't look at this slide. Listen to what the words that are coming out of my mouth for right now, and then look at the slide. So what's the way that most of you consider getting a business idea? Right. So actually, Matthew and I had a conversation exactly like this, where Matthew had an idea in his brain that he came to me because he wanted to know whether or not I thought it was a good idea. Right. And that is the way that 99% of people actually go out there and build businesses. Right. Travis, Matt, Stuart, you guys are with me. Right. So the way that most people think about building a business is they say, okay, I'm going to go lock myself in a room for 2 hours and I'm going to rack my brain about what I think would be a good idea. And then once they've racked their brain and thought of what they think is a great idea, now they start telling their friends. They say, hey, friends, I've got the idea for this particular software. What do you guys think about it? And then their friends say, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. You should definitely build that. Right. So then that person goes and says, hey, developers, I want to build this software. What's it going to cost? Right. It might cost between $10,000 and $20,000. So then they actually go, right, and they get, maybe they've got savings of $10,000 to $20,000 and they get that thing built. And then all of a sudden, they put it out into the market and they hope and they wish and they pray that people are going to show up and buy it, right? So that is probably why most people will tell you that being an entrepreneur or starting a business is risky, is because that's the way that most people build businesses. They think of an idea in their own brain. They ask their friends if they think it's a good idea. They invest a bunch of money to get that thing developed. And then they bring it to the customers and they might see, oops, spent all that time, money, energy, and resources, and nobody wants to buy it. So what we're talking about here is building a business backwards. We're not going to start with an idea. In fact, I want to let you guys let out a sigh of relief. Everybody's sitting behind their computers right now. People are in Australia and it's tomorrow. People are in Portland and it's behind us. Let out a sigh of relief for me, because you do not have to think of your own business idea. I do not have to think of a business idea, right? So how do I actually do that? The way that I go about getting business ideas and the way that we teach in the foundation is a concept called idea discovery. So the question is, if the business idea isn't in your brain, where is it? Well, it's in the market. It's in the business owners. So the idea is that you're going to pick an industry, right? Whatever industry is what we call a green light market that meets some very specific criteria that we lay out for you in the foundation, so that you know before you even call one person whether or not you're picking an industry that you're going to be able to build a business that can scale in. Okay. So what we're going to do is not think of the idea ourselves, but we're going to contact the market. We're going to talk to business owners and managers and rock stars in that market, because they're the experts and they know what frustrations they're having. They know what software is doing and what it's not doing. They know where they're losing time, where they're wasting energy, where they're mismanaging their people. So what we're going to do is not think of our own idea, but we're going to go to our business owners in that particular market and we're going to ask them, what's going on that is painful? What's going on that is causing inefficiencies and wasted time? When you're laying in bed at midnight and you can't go to sleep because you're dreading that one thing that you need to do in your business tomorrow, what's that one thing look like to you? Okay, so we're flipping this on its head so that we're removing ourselves from the need to think of our own idea, which is probably what a lot of you guys wrote down in the beginning when I asked you, what are the roadblocks? My guess is a lot of you guys wrote down, I don't have a good business idea. So forget about that. We're taking it off the table. The market is going to tell you what it needs, because the market is what knows what it needs, or is who knows what the market needs. Whew, I just talked myself in a circle there, right? So Ryan's got some great deep diving questions about what you ask. So you're going to be asking them things like, what problems are you experiencing? What are the big projects going on right now? What's taking up mental energy for you? Walk me through the first few hours of your day. What does that look like, Mr. Business Owner? Right? And then we're going to take them through a process where they've said, now, hey, I've got problem one, problem two, problem. We're going to walk them through a process of, out of problem one, problem two, and problem three, Mr. Business Owner, which is the most painful for you? And they say problem two. And then now you do the deep dive. You say, that's interesting. Can you tell me more about that? Can you speak into the way that makes you feel? Can you let me know what you believe that's costing your business? Okay, so to recap here, to package it all up for you, throw out the idea that you need to think of what your business should do. And you're going to go through a process of being able to ask your market what it actually needs, right? Because essentially what we're doing is we're moving the risk from building a business, because we're going to go talk to the people who are going to buy it and have them tell us what to build. Ryan, will you roll me into the next slide?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And for everyone too, we're going to have a PDF of this for the ones who couldn't see the slides very well if it's pixelated. At the end of the webinar, we'll go through and give links to that PDF so you can see this in more detail. All right, here we go.
All right, Dale, Brian, Daryl, Mike B, Sean, everybody, how are we doing? You still with me? Dave, Sean, Lauren. All right, Dale, Thomas, Josh says sigh. I like it. You guys are letting out the sighs. So I'm going to lay it on you, right? So we talked about the process of now you're going to throw out the need to actually go and create your own business idea. Okay, so you don't have to let that be a block for you anymore. The idea or the fact that you don't have a great, clever business idea, we're going to take that off the table for you, because we realize that's one of the number one things that stop people from doing what they want to do and creating what they want to create, right? So we ultimately talked about this process of the removal of risk from building a business. Okay, so what we want to do is double down on that. We want to really remove the risk, right? So what you might be thinking now is, okay, great, Frank, you're telling me that I should go into a market. I should ask these business owners what's painful, what's problematic, what's challenging, right? And I want to let you know and take a step back. Some of you guys might be thinking, why would a business owner have a conversation with me? Because I have no credibility, no experience. I don't have anything on a business card that I could give them. Here's the bottom line on that. People do not buy your product or service. People buy the fact that you understand and can articulate their problems better than anyone else. So the process of being an entrepreneur has absolutely nothing to do with your experience or your skill set, and it has everything to do with the fact that you are becoming a problem solver, right? So what gives you credibility is your ability to speak with someone and help them discover things about their business that are not causing their business to grow the way it should grow. Okay. People buy into the fact that you're the guy who can articulate and understand their problems and discover their problems like a problem detective better than anyone else, right? So the next step is, how do we continue to remove risk from building a business? The concept is called pre-selling. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into that market and we're going to understand what's going on that's painful, what's going on that's optimal, right? What we're not going to do next is we're not going to then take that information, develop our software, ask our friends if they think it's a good idea to pay a bunch of money and then bring it back to the market. What we're going to do is now we're going to be positioned as the guy or girl or lady or woman, the person who solves people's problems. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through a process called pre-selling. Pre-selling means that you're going to get your customers to pay you to develop the solution to their problems. And again, I'm living inside your brains. You guys are thinking, how is anybody going to buy something that doesn't exist yet? Okay, so there's a couple frames that we can set for you. Number one, think of Kickstarter. The exact model of Kickstarter is this. Somebody has a product or an idea that they're not sure is a good idea. So they put it on Kickstarter, and the message to the Kickstarter possible supporters is this: if you guys think this is a good idea, pay for it. If enough of you pay for it, I'll go develop it, and then 3 to 4 months later, I'll send you guys the finished goods, Okay, so Kickstarter is something that pretty much everybody can understand the concept of. Maybe a lot of you have already bought Kickstarters, right? So you understand at your gut level that selling a product before it exists is absolutely not out of the realm of possibilities. People do it every single day. Billions of dollars are trafficked through sites like that where you crowdfund it in order to prove the demand before you go and build it, right? So the process is we're going to now have our ideas. We're going to go back to those people and say, look, you buy the fact that I'm the guy who solved your problem. What I'd like to do is solve that problem for you, right? So what I'd like you to do is pay me X amount of dollars, and I'm going to go build a solution for you. Now, the benefit to you, Mr. Business Owner, is that you're going to get a lifetime discount on this software, but you're also going to have the opportunity to direct the feature set of what's going on. So what you're essentially giving your customers the opportunity to do is have a software tool custom developed to their needs. The reason I say custom development is because you involve them in the process. As it's being developed, you're going to be asking them, what's going on? Is this good? Is this bad? Should it do this? Should it do that? Okay, so that's the process of pre-selling. Again, we go deep dive into that in the actual foundation, but I wanted to give you guys some of the overview so you can see how you could actually go out and take some action on this. If you've got an idea from a business owner, the next step is very simple. Ask him if he'll pay you to solve it or build the solution. All right, Rye.
All right, fantastic. Had some good questions just responding to there. All right, cool. So, Frank, did you want me to speak into anything here, or do you want to roll on to the next slide?
No, I'm good. Let's keep rolling.
All right, sounds good. Keep everybody's. All right, establish the right growth processes. Okay, here is going to answer some of Matt's questions in this slide too. So you build relationships with people in the industry niche you've selected. All right, so some ways to do that is really simple. You can begin with email. You can begin with calls. You can do direct mail. I mean, there's a number of different marketing ways to reach a business owner. One of the cool things that I've discovered is if you go towards industry professionals, like the top of the line, like the ones that are the movers and the shakers in the marketplace, and you approach them with something of value, something that you can help them with, and you just ask them, you know, what is it that I can help you with? What are the problems that you're running into? Like, how can I do that for you? And you'll notice that it's like, oh my gosh, okay, well, yeah, this is the problem I'm experiencing. And if you want to learn more about this, we'll have a podcast that's actually coming out in about 30 days. Frank and I did a podcast with Jeff Woods, and he just pioneers this giving value model, and it's going to be amazing. So when you establish the right growth processes and you're building relationships and you're giving value and you're just helping and working with people on a relational form and not necessarily transactional, it'll allow you to just smoothly and easily navigate that relationship. And you'll notice that it grows really easily. So Frank, do you want to talk about like maybe an email, like a quick swipe file that they could email out to people in their niche if they're trying to do lead generation or so?
What do you mean?
Okay, so I'll just give one example. Subject line, weird question for you. And then the body is like, hey, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'm doing some research about movers and shakers in your industry, and I'd love to get your what's the word I'm looking for? Get your not information. Get your feedback. There we go. Love to get your feedback. I'd love to learn some of your expertise. And could we schedule a call? Tuesday at 10 or 2, or Thursday at 11 and 1. And you start building those relationships that way. And email is a great way to leverage. One of the cool things when you can start to grow is you've already pre-sold to fund the development, and you're starting to grow. Using the testimonials from already existing customers. So let's say you've already had 10 customers and you're reaching out to say more. If you would have done what I said earlier on how to get referrals, that would have been really easy to grow that way. But you can also take testimonials and say, hey, John from Louisiana, who's in real estate. I just talked with David, who's also in Louisiana, and worked with him on solving one of these problems. And do you suffer from this same problem too? Shoot me a reply and let me know. And you'll be surprised, like, oh yeah, another person in my industry. So it really works well to leverage those relationships. And once you start getting into, you have 10 customers and you're ready to scale the business, when you're ready to scale the business, you can leverage more digital communication. So rather than working one-on-one, you can start to begin to work with one-to-many. And a few of the ways to do that is you can build an email list. You can get people onto webinars like we're on here now, and you can provide value in helping them get the results that they want in their life. And when you can clearly communicate the problems that they're suffering from and they're running into, they're going to listen to you, and they're gonna have rapport built with you because you understand what they're going through. See, it's really important when someone understands what you're going through and they have the solution, the keys to that. How could you not build a relationship with them? How could you not listen to them? How could you not give feedback? Because if you're both in alignment towards the same goal, it just becomes so easy. You're helping people. It's really what's important. So this equation that I pioneered on how to leverage digital communication and technology is getting traffic to a conversion page, whether it's an opt-in page or a blog post or even a video with some place to capture an email address. And then once you have their email address, then you can contact them and follow up with them and use relationship building strategies like we talked about earlier. A pro tip that I just discovered last week is really, really cool. When people are searching AdWords for a problem that you solve, you can add in the AdWords PPC. Don't do XYZ until you've listened to this pre-recorded conference call and then with the phone number. And you actually don't have to pay for the PPC because people are calling and they're not actually clicking. I kind of rambled there a little bit. Frank, do you want to kind of sum some of this up and maybe hit some of the places that I may have left out?
Yeah, so really the way that I like to go about contacting people is very simple. I use a two-pronged approach. Okay, so I make what's called my hitters list, and then I go for a mass approach as well. Okay, my hitters list is I go in and identify industry leaders, people who are business rock stars in whatever industry that I'm targeting, right? So these are my hitters list. My intention with the hitters list is I want to spend some extra time crafting personalized messages to them. I don't want to just blast them with a scripted email, but because they are business leaders, I actually want to go ahead and take some extra time to personalize the message to them. The personalized message might just be something like, I saw that your business did XYZ. I saw that your business grew in this way in the last few months. That was amazing, right? So you personalize it a little bit and you reach out to these people. My favorite way to contact my hitter list is through LinkedIn. And I want to give you guys a tiny little tip. Again, so write down or type in the box of 1 if you want to hear a tip, a secret tip about being able to contact people via LinkedIn. I'm only seeing 1. All right, so we're going to skip over the secret tip to contact people on LinkedIn. Okay, Thomas says 1, Ryan says 1, Daryl says 1, Timothy Dale. All right, so here's the key, right? So LinkedIn generally blocks people from being able to just send out cold messages. It's actually one of the benefits of being on LinkedIn is that it's a closed ecosystem where unless I'm first level connections with you or pay some ridiculous subscription fee, I can't just start blasting people with messages, right? So I cannot send anyone a direct message unless I'm a first level connection with them. I cannot be a first level connection with someone on LinkedIn unless I actually know them, right? Unless I'm a business associate of them, unless I know their personal email address and we're friends. And if you want to get yourself banned from LinkedIn, go ahead and just start blasting people and lying about the fact that you know them, and you'll see you later, okay? So here's the trick. Here's the tip. Little known secret is that if you are a member of the same group on LinkedIn as someone else, you can send them a direct message without being a first level connection. Okay. So let's say my target is chief marketing officers in large law firms. Now, I don't know any chief marketing officers, so I can't get any first level connections with them, right? So I can't send them a direct message. But let's say I identify some of the top guys that I want to go ahead and contact, right? Then I'm going to go into their LinkedIn profile. I'm going to see what groups are they a part of. Once I know what groups they're a part of, I'm going to see if there's any open groups, right? These are the ones that don't require approval. I guarantee you they're generally always a part of one of the groups that is not a closed group, but that is open. So you go in, join the groups that are open that the people you want to talk with are also a member in, and now you've got the ungated ability to send them direct messages. Now, I'm telling you this not so you'll abuse it, but I'm telling you because this is your hitters list. So you're going to get into groups with these people and you're going to craft them personalized messages letting them know, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I have nothing to sell right now. I'm looking to solve problems that exist for chief marketing officers in law firms of more than 100 people. Again, I've got nothing to sell, but I would love it if I could get on a call with you for 30 minutes to start to understand some of the things that you face on a day-to-day basis. Would you be into a 30-minute call? Okay, so that's a little tip that I want to do. I wanted to share with you guys. But again, overall, I'm going about this process in two ways. I'm making what I call my hitters list, which is the smaller group of people that I'm going to be sending direct messages to that I personalize. And then I'm making my mass list, right? Where I'm actually just going to be able to go through a process of getting a bunch of emails and then sending them a really clever script, right? So again, going through the mass part and more on the hitters list is stuff that we really dig into detail into the foundation. But I wanted to be able to give you guys those actionable tips so that you can actually go out and do this yourself. Matthew wants the pro tip again. The pro tip is simple, Matthew. If you are in the same group as another member on LinkedIn, you have the ability to send them direct messages. If you're not a member of the same group and you're not a first level connection, you're unable to send them messages. So the pro tip is join the groups for the people that you want to contact, and then you'll have the ability to send them a direct message. Oh. Cool. So who felt like they could actually like take something that I just said and they could actually begin a process like this, right? Even though you feel uncertain, who feels like they've got something where they think, I think now I at least could probably start conversations with somebody, even if I'm not sure what to say yet, who thinks they might actually be able to start conversations? Drop me a note, right? So we'll keep pressing on, but drop me a note if you feel like you can do something. Mike B, love you, man. Tina, Timothy, all right. You guys are starting to see it. Sean, definitely. Josh, cool. Ibrahim, Brian, Stewart. All right, Phil, you guys are coming alive. Thomas, Matthew, I love it. Daryl. All right, let's keep rolling, Ryan. That's well done.
All right, rolling on. Here we go. Oops. All right. One of the biggest complaints I hear from so many entrepreneurs and so many people starting a business is like, I don't want to be a lone wolf. I don't want to be sitting in my office by myself doing this every day. I don't want to be isolated from the world, and I want a support team behind me to help me. And you know, having a support team is just absolutely one of the most powerful ways that you can exponentially move faster in growing your successful business. See, your success has everything to do with who you surround yourself with. And like Jim Rohn quoted, you're the average of the 5 people you're around the most. You know, you make the average of your 5 best friends, like your salary, your wealth is the same as your 5 best friends. So when you can start to see like, okay, there is power inside of being a part of a team. There's power in being with a community. You can use your existing relationship networks. You can use the relationships within your new team. You can also do something like, you know, hire virtual assistants all around the world to help you, you know, create a team around you. But oftentimes, you know, they're supporting you in a way of like you telling them what to do and they go do it versus, you know, them helping guide you. You know, you can hire employees, but, you know, definitely got to be aware of, you know, extra tax costs and extra fees, and it's really expensive to hire employees. And well, it's just not necessarily the thing that you can do when you're first starting. And you can find a partner to split your gold mine with and workload, so you know, it can help, you know, decrease some of that workload that you have. But you know, if your partner is not at the level that you want to be, then you know, you're kind of both doing the same thing. So you can pay for specialized services to leverage, you know, like there's sites out there that, you know, can, you know, get you coaching or being a consultant. And, you know, those have pretty hefty fees as well. One of the things that I've seen though, is when you connect to an existing community who's done what you are doing, they've already accomplished what you're doing, and they have a path laid out for you to follow and a process, just like franchises who are 90% successful, you have a process to follow. It becomes so much easier, and people to help you overcome the roadblocks that you'll experience. And Frank, go ahead and talk into that thing that you shared the other day. It blew my mind, and I think everybody gets some ton of value from that.
I'm happy to. Okay, so the process, you guys, is called normalization. So it really goes back to this Jim Rohn quote about you're the average of the 5 people that you're around them. So he based or the idea or concept of normalization, right? So you essentially can achieve in life, similar to the Roger Bannister story that we talked about in the beginning. You will be able to rise in life to the levels of the people around you, right? Essentially, what is normal. So if the people around you all have jobs, it will be normal for you to have a job. If the people around you all smoke cigarettes, it will be normal for you to smoke cigarettes. If the people around you all hustle to build businesses on the side, if the people around you believe that they can achieve these big things in life, if the people around you are building businesses to 5,000 and then 10,000 and then 15,000 and then 20,000, if the people around you are waking up and meditating, if the people around you are being vision focused rather than reactive, right? If the people around you are doing all of these things, then it will become normal for you to do those things as well. Okay, so this is like Tony Robbins has a saying called proximity is power, right? If you want to grow, you need to stand on the shoulders of giants. So the idea is it is really hard on yourself if you want to do this as a lone wolf. But the idea is you want to surround yourself with the type of people who it is normal for to wake up early, to meditate, to do a morning routine, to be vision focused, to take massive action, and then learn from their results. If you surround yourself with those type of people, it will become normal for you to believe that you can do that. Right. So again, the process is called normalization. And it basically means the books that you read, the podcasts that you listen to, the people that you interact with, all of these people are going to determine what feels normal in your life. And what feels normal in your life is the way that you ultimately live your life. Absolutely. Dima, is that how you say it? We need a mastermind group. Phil's got a question. What if he doesn't surround himself with the right people because they're toxic? Just hunt for new folks. Phil, that's a really challenging thing. And ultimately, the short answer to that is yes. So I've experienced that in the past where I've been surrounded by people who didn't necessarily believe what I believed. And it's not like I sent them hate mail and told them you're out of my life, but it kind of just became a organic process of me migrating away from them. And here's the interesting thing. I migrated away from them initially and surrounded myself with a different group of people. And here's one of my intentions in life. One of my intentions in life is to be a beacon in life, to inspire passion, joy, and curiosity in humanity and every human interaction, right? So I migrated away from a certain group of people, and I surrounded myself with a different level of people. Can you guess what happened? A year or two down the line, those people that I migrated from started contacting me, and they started saying things like, hey, dude, I've seen what you're up to on Facebook, and I really wanted to reconnect because I'm going through something in my life that's caused me to question a lot of things, and it seems like you're doing it right. Can we get together for coffee? Right? So the interesting thing that I experienced, Phil, was that I migrated away from these people because I was becoming a different person and surrounding myself with different people. And all of a sudden, I was giving people the gift of being a beacon where they said, I know that guy. That guy went to college with me, right? That guy I've seen that guy's flaws, but look at what he's doing, right? So all of a sudden, by the process of me believing in this process of normalization, other people started to use me as their example, where they said, Frank can do that, so maybe I can do that as well. So it becomes this really amazing cycle where you're creating ripple effects in the world, where you initially migrate away, and then the right people get attracted back towards you because they want to normalize or level up.
And when they see it's possible that Frank's doing it, then it becomes possible in their world, and now they're breaking 4-minute miles. Bam!
Look, if a guy who wears a sweater inside his house can do it, then I most certainly can do it, is what people think. And I'm wearing a sweater right now.
Hopefully you're wearing pants too.
Mike's got a question. What if the people you are around on the Mike, retype that question. We're going to keep going, but drop that question in and we'll get to it. I can't understand it.
All right, cool. So there's 5 options really to build a freedom business. You can, learn to develop the product yourself, or code it yourself, or, create it yourself. And, you take classes and go through, computer sciences and all this stuff to figure out how to create a business that creates passive residual income for you. Go through all that time, and it's a pain. You can learn to apply, or you can apply and get accepted into business incubators. I've done that before when I was really young, and they take a portion of your company. They make you come in 12 hours a day. You're living on ramen noodles, and you're around a bunch of people who's trying to create a business, and really not a whole lot that have been successful in businesses. See, there's a law of 33, or law of a third, and if you can focus on a third of your social group with people who have what you want, or are like what you want to become, and you spend time with them, you'll start to normalize to that process. And one of the things that you can do to build, freedom business, one of the options is you can go to a conference or, software, about software or tech, and you can, conference about business or whatever, and spend $2 to $3 grand on a weekend easily. But you're only walking away with just like a couple morsels of information and some relationships. There's power in relationships. I 100% stand behind that. And there are powerful reasons for conferences, but it's not going to actually let you build a freedom business. You can join a mastermind. Masterminds are great. They're super powerful. If you can find a good one, you likely have to apply and be accepted and go through the process, just like everybody on this webinar. They all went through a process to get accepted. But the cool thing with masterminds is, they're about $10,000 to $20,000 a year to be part of the group. So if you can swing it and be with these super powerful people, all for it. The other thing is you can do it all on your own. It's possible. The founders of the foundation did that. They did it on their own before a community they created. And, Dane spent $200,000 in development. He worked in this chaos of uncertainty and had loads of mistakes. He got taken for thousands of dollars, and he ended up on the other side. And he's like, I want to create a community for others so that they don't have to go through the same crap that I did. And see, none of these options are really ideal for someone who's starting from nothing. They're great if you have lots of cash laying around and lots of experience building businesses already, but not if you're starting from nothing. These aren't really the best ways to go about doing that. And one of the things that really, time is your most valuable commodity. It's really an asset, but it's counting down. You have less time now than you did 10 minutes ago, less time than you did 6 years ago. And so question you have to ask yourself, what is your time really worth? What's your hourly rate? So if your hourly rate was, $100 an hour, and you spent 2 hours a day, 30 days a year, and that came out to be about $60,000. So would you be willing to invest $6,000 in order to save $60,000? Let me get some responses from that. Would you invest $6,000 to save $60,000? So why that question is relevant. So it took Dane Maxwell, our founder, 6 years to build Paperless Pipeline to $90,000 a month. 6 years. Now we teach his methods to students who have done it in 3, some even less. See, our methods results in the 2 most important things you can have in the world: time and freedom. Time and freedom. So this process that we've taught you can literally save 2 to 5 years off and tens of thousands of dollars off your entrepreneurial growth curve. It can save you time, frustration, headaches. You're not building the business the old way that doesn't work anymore, that 90% of businesses are failing because of. You can now build a business in a way that's profitable from the get-go. What would saving 3 years of your life do for you? See, this opportunity cost is huge, huge. So if you want to know what's expensive, wasting all that money, wasting all that time, building ideas that people don't want to pay for, trying to convince someone to buy something that they don't really even want, sitting around struggling to come up with your own business ideas, being surrounded by MediaCore people, getting MediaCore advice with MediaCore results. You're sick of that, getting MediaCore results, being around MediaCore people. I'm glad you're here tonight. I'm glad you're here tonight. So,
me too. I'm going to add something before we do the Q&A, Ryan. Is that cool?
Absolutely, brother. Give it to me.
Okay. Right. So this is like, I love this concept because it speaks to my heart. If you guys are familiar with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I highly recommend it as a resource, right? So take that pen, you're making the neural connections, write down Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Frank said it might be a good idea to read it. It's honestly one of the first books that I ever read about entrepreneurship when I was 19 years old. And it started me thinking differently about what I wanted out of life. The concept that I want to lay on for you guys is that, yeah, Malaki, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Timothy, yeah. So the idea and the concept that I'm talking about is that most people in the world make it their goal to become rich. But here's what the real wealthy people in the world know. So rich equals money, right? So that just equals the amount of money that's coming in. But wealth equals time. Okay. So what we're all actually going for is wealth, because wealth equals time. And here's what wealth actually means. It's the amount of days that you could not go to your job or not do anything to survive and still be able to live the current lifestyle that you're at right now. Right. So the way that you figure out how wealthy you are, is you said, if I stopped doing anything tomorrow, if I just went to the beach and didn't look at my email, and I didn't look at my phone, and I didn't go to my job, how many days could I continue to live the lifestyle that I live right now until I had no money? Right. So again, rich means money, but what we're really after is wealth, because wealth is time freedom. And as you guys are seeing right here, time is the most valuable non-renewable commodity on the planet. You can always go make more money. You can always get more money. The absolute thing that you can never get more of, the thing that you can never get back, is your time. Okay. So I really want you guys to think about that, because most people are driven in life by money. They think, what is something going to cost me in terms of money? But they're neglecting the fact that time is the most valuable commodity in the world, because you cannot make any more of it. All right, Ryan, let's roll on to Q&A. And I see we've got some questions going on. Nicole, thanks a million. Just check Jesse's website. Yeah, Nicole. Jesse Elder is a really, really smart man. I'm glad that you like that. And also check out his Facebook page, because you're going to see the concept of pre-selling in action if you're friends with Jesse or if you're following him on Facebook. So what questions do you guys have about this process, right? So what we've talked about for you guys is vision. You can get out of life what you believe you can get out of life. We've talked about surrounding yourselves with the right people, because ultimately you're the average of the people you surround yourself with, the books that you read, the TV that you watch or don't watch, right? We talked about how you can throw the old way of building a business out the window and go to a market and get them to tell you a business idea, and then how you can remove the risk of building a business by getting your customers to pay for you to develop the product or service that solves their problem, right? So that's where we've been so far. So what questions do you guys have for us? Malaki, Travis, Matthew. Matthew, you had a question. You wanted Ryan to go over his pro tip again. Ryan, you were about to deliver a pro tip, and then I think I cut you off. Do you remember what you were going to talk about?
Pro tip. I think it was just on, probably in a marketing sphere. Was it on how to start building relationships with people in a certain niche?
Yes.
And yeah, really, like it comes down to knowing about that niche, doing your research, learning about it, and then learning about the person that you're going to be communicating with. And so once you're armed with that intel, that information, and you can get it on LinkedIn, you can get it on like Info USA, just Google information about the person that you're essentially going to be targeting to talk to, and get to know a little bit about them. Do something for them in advance before you reach out to them. So one of the things when I was doing lead generation for my marketing company, I would actually pre-create a video before I would go talk to that business, and I would get photos from their Facebook, or I'd get photos from their LinkedIn or their website, and I'd create this really cool video, and I'd send it to them as a gift. And I said, is there anything else is there anything I can help you with that you're running into problems with? And because I led with something valuable in advance, they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. Well, yeah, actually we're struggling from this other thing, because they saw what I was able to do with the video for free. Then they saw like, oh my gosh, there's something more that this guy can do. And it ultimately created the most amount of growth for that company. It was awesome. Brian has an awesome question here. I have a solution to, oh, great. Wow, these are pulling in faster than I can see them. Timothy, I've seen a lot of software that already is out there for other niches. Do you ever pay attention to that when you look at a niche? Yeah, it tells you, it kind of validates an idea for you already. It kind of tells you that there is a demand in that marketplace. So one of the things you could do is, start to reach out to people who might be using that software and ask them what's their experience like. Is it fulfilling everything that they need, or is it, is there any problems that they're experiencing that the software isn't solving? And what you'll learn is oftentimes there's gaps, and you can exploit those gaps for a better, for lack of a better word. But yeah, use that as a guide. But if it's oversaturated with software, it may be best to look at a different angle or approach. What do you think about that, Frank?
Yeah, I mean, Timothy, the way that I ultimately look at it is I look at other software doing what I'm going to do as market validation, meaning there's somebody out there that's already building a business and making money around solving the problem that I want to solve. So how can I do a better job marketing? How can I be more personable in the contacts that I reach out to, right? How can I add value beyond what's out there, right? So the way that I look at competition is simple. The fact that a competitor exists means that there's validation in the market, that there's a problem and that people will pay to solve that problem.
All right, sweet, thank you. Brian, I have a solution to a problem. Been talking to about 10 to 15 businesses that all find it a problem. Should I go then and start pre-selling or do more research? I mean, if it's going to be worthwhile to you and making, what, $100 or more a month at least, and I would start pre-selling.
Yeah, Brian, here's the way that I look at it. Here's the way that I give numbers to people in any market. I want to talk to 25 business owners. If out of those 25 business owners, 5 of them have told me that they have a similar problem, I do what I call drawing a line in the sand. So I say, okay, I talked to 25 people, at least 5 of them have the same problem. Now it's time for me to really prove that it's a problem that people are going to pay for by switching gears to pre-selling. So if you've talked to 10 to 15 people that have told you they've got the same problem, now I would recommend validating that they're actually going to pay for that problem by stepping into the pre-selling.
Okay. Looks like Dave said, how many users constitute a good niche? I believe it's like more than 5,000 businesses.
Yep.
More 5 to 7,000. Even more is even better. Travis says, I've been trying to talk to barbers about their problems, but I find it really hard to. Yeah, they're always on the phone, dude. Or I mean, they're always on the cutting hair. One of the things you do is just make a quick call. You just say, hey, I know you're probably cutting hair right now if you're busy, but I'd love to talk with you. I think I can, help you in a certain few areas. I'm not here to sell anything. Can I schedule time with you right before you leave? Set them up right before they leave the barber shop. That was something.
Yeah, another interesting thing that you can consider is that, like, when I think of a barber shop, I think of somebody who is like an artist or skilled producer, right? So I think of a barber shop as somebody who's not necessarily running a business, but they're doing something that they love and they're passionate about, and they're giving out fades and cutting people's hair. So what I would do, right, is I would consider, if I can never email or call somebody, am I truly going to be able to ever build and scale a business in that niche, right? Like, if I'm calling people who just love to cut hair but don't care about running businesses, am I ever going to be build a business? So what I would recommend is potentially a shift to salons, right? Because there are a lot of people who run salons as a business, but they're not necessarily anymore on the floor cutting hair, doing color, giving people nail things, manicures, I think they're called, right? So salon owners are going to be people in a similar niche, but what I would find is that they're going to be a lot more business driven, because you see a lot more salon chains, but you don't really see barbershop chains, right? So if there's like chains of For example, Zazu is one in the Chicagoland area. I don't know if it's national, but there's a bunch of them. So I know that these people are true business owners and business rock stars rather than just people who are really good at doing hair and love to do that.
One of the interesting things with the salons, and you'll find this if you switch into that niche, is a lot of times that they'll rent out the chairs to stylists. And so you have a business owner, and then you have independent stylists inside of there. Just kind of give a tip in advance for that, so you're not kind of taken back from that. Cool. So we have another question about, is it a good idea to partner up with a successful business owner in our niche so they can provide experience in the market and I provide marketing technology? I love that. I love that idea. That's some of our students have had the best results with that approach, and they continue to have awesome success. So that is a great thing to do. I missed a question earlier. So I pick a niche, do some research by building relationships and asking questions. At what point do I ask for the money to build it if I can't bootstrap it? Is it during the conversation where I determine the pain points? Well, really, what I would recommend doing is validate the pain points with enough people, and then circle back around and say, hey, target niche, or target market. Hey, dude, I found after I talked to 20 other people who are in the same business that they're also experiencing the same problem, and I crafted this solution, and I want to know what you think about it, and let me know if you think that would work. And that's when if you get the validation from, yeah, that would work, say, are you willing to pay for that? And they'll give you a yes or no. It's pretty easy. All right, cool. So okay, more questions. Awesome.
Not off the hook yet, Ryan.
More, guys, we still got more. Hold on. All right, would everybody want to know how to do this process faster and much more easily? Would you like a faster process for this? Let me hear ones. Let me see a ones. Yeah, consulting is about getting involved. Yeah, you can definitely use this as a consulting mechanism too. But does everybody want to learn how to do this faster? Let me hear ones. Yes, that's right. I think, Frank, they're confusing our voices, bro.
All right. Wait, no, we have to do a quick quiz before we move forward. Who is this right now? Who is talking? You guys, I want you guys to type into the chat box who you believe is talking. All right. It's just a fun little quiz we're doing, right? So I am talking right now.
Who's on?
Am I Ryan or am I Frank? Type into the chat box who you think this is. Oh, we got okay. You guys know. Somebody said Dane.
Ryan, someone said Ryan. Frankie has the sweater.
For Dave, nice one. Okay, Frank's got the sweater. So Frank's got the sweater, and Frank's voice sounds like this. And Ryan, what's your voice sound like?
My voice sounds like this. I was going to give everybody a curveball there, but we'll be cool. We'll be cool.
All right. So fun little quiz here. We're all about having fun. So Ryan, we were getting a lot of ones pouring in until we detracted everything with our little name quiz, but that was a fun little thing. So why don't you take us into it? We had the ones pouring in. People want to know.
Awesome.
You can hear the sweater.
Getting hot in here. All right. So business startup accelerator programs, the total package of a business startup accelerator is really about $29,000. We found that when we developed software and we developed content for people and how to make this process so much easier for them. We created an accelerated learning platform that's a $2,000 value. We really invested over $200,000 into this accelerated learning platform on helping people build businesses faster. And there's also a business dashboard that's attached to that as a kind of a cool thing tonight. One of the business accelerator onboarding you can get as part of this business accelerator package as well. There's a fastest path to cash module. There's a $1,000 value for that. You learn how to make cash super fast. One of my favorite mentors, John Logar, he actually went through the foundation, and we'll share a little bit about him. But he teaches a course on how to get to the fastest path to cash. And really, when we started to look at all this, it's holy cow, this is a $29,000 startup cost really, and is that achievable for most people when they're getting started from nothing? And we really found out that's really hard to do. That $30,000 to start a business. We wanted to make it more accessible. And so
That's wicked hard.
it is super hard. $30,000. Can you believe that? A 90% failure rate? Ugh. Anyways, we do something different here at the foundation. We make freedom achievable for people who are starting from nothing. We work with some of the most brilliant, amazing people around the world, helping them. And we have some of the most brilliant, amazing people inside of our community helping each other. And you'll hear some of the stories of some of our past students and how they're just making more than $1,000 a month. They're making, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $50,000, $90,000, over $100,000 a month for some of our students. That's over 7 figures a year. And they're using a system, it's called the Foundation Business System. It's our campus app. This is what it would look like after you log in tonight. You'll be able to get access to this, and it starts from the welcome to the mindset. You'll learn how to do idea extraction, sketching the solution, pre-selling, building the product. It's step-by-step processes of exactly what we went through tonight, but there's so much more content and so much more detail that will allow you to literally just follow this process, and you'll be golden. Over on the right-hand side, there's a thing called action metrics. You start tracking your idea extraction calls. You start tracking your pre-sales. You can start tracking your monthly recurring revenue, and you start hitting these milestones. We give you this path to walk down, and it becomes super easy for you to grow this business. We have over 1,500 foundation members inside, plus mentors, plus like gurus like Dane, who started the company, all inside of here for you to get access to and work with us, and we'll help you overcome the problems that you're running into. It's a system that's really it's I've never seen anything like it in the world, and I'm so proud to be here to share this with you. It's taken me a long time to get here, and it's been an amazing ride. It's been an amazing ride. So I want to help you be successful faster. And so here's 3 case studies, and I'm going to let Frank dive into these case studies and share a little bit about Carl or Amy or Sandy and what they're able to do after they join this system.
Cool. And Ryan, drop into the chat. People are asking, if you had to start over right now, what industry would you go into? My answer was I might find 3D printers and see what they need. And I might go into recreational marijuana shops in Washington and Colorado, because I think that's going to be an exploding industry. So let's talk about these case studies, right? So what I want you to see here is 3 very different people, right? 3 very distinct people that we're looking at right now. Right. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to look at these people who are all employees of some sort, right? Who are moms, right? Carl's not a mom, so you guys can guess which of the other 2 are going to be moms. So these people were employees. These people were moms. These people had no idea how to build a business from nothing. So what I want you guys to think of is, are you like them at all? Did you have a job and you had no idea how to be an entrepreneur? Right. So if you're a guy right now that has a job, that wants to be an entrepreneur but hasn't done it, type into the chat box that's me. Okay. So if you're just a guy in a job right now, you want to be an entrepreneur but you've never done it yet, type that's me. If you are a younger mom like Amy Kaufman, right? If you're a younger woman or if you're an older woman, type that's me. Right. So what I want you guys to see here is that these are people who had no wildly amazing business ideas, right? These weren't people who thought of Facebook. These weren't people who are master coders. These were people, right? We're seeing it. That's like me. Ibrahim says, that's me. Josh, Phil, Dale, that's me. That's me, right? So Carl's a guy who was working in California, and he decided that he actually wanted to go through the foundation because he had always wanted to be an entrepreneur and he didn't know the steps to take. And the cool thing is, I'm going to give you a pro tip here in the midst of talking about these case studies, right? So Carl's business partner, Josh Isaac, and I are really close friends. Josh, that's me. Carl's business partner is named Josh Isaac. Okay. They have multiple businesses together. Their businesses are doing 6 figures, not a year, per month. Okay, here's the pro tip that I want to share with you guys about Carl. So remember back when we talked about idea discovery and about contacting the market, we talked about how you were going to reach out to business owners, and we talked about how you're going to set up conversations with these business owners to go through the process of idea discovery. You guys remember that? right? So Carl's just following along with this process. He contacts somebody, and here's what Carl's did. Here's a very interesting pro tip that I want to share with you guys that Carl did, right? Because ultimately Carl was following the rules until he broke one of the rules and gave me a really good idea and gave everyone else a great model to follow. Frank, thanks, Matthew. Frank is talking. You guys are great. Okay. So here's what Carl did. He sent out an email, basically the strange question email that Ryan talked about, trying to set up a conversation when he was very early on in idea extraction in the physical therapy market. So Carl started getting responses back, started setting up conversations. Then Carl got back one of the answers that a lot of our students get, that they come to me a lot of times with, and they say, Frank, how can I convince this guy? What should I do? Here's what happened, right? Carl sent out an email and the response came back, hey, Carl, I actually have absolutely no problems in my business. My business has just been growing rapidly because I'm just a great business owner, right? So what would 99% of people in the world do? They would say, that guy has no problems, so he's obviously not my target market, and they would move on to the next person. Here's what Carl did, okay? What Carl did is he said, here's somebody who's telling me their business is growing. Here's somebody who's telling me they've kind of got a system figured out. So rather than just ignoring it and moving on to somebody who told them they had problems, Carl said, I love the fact that your business is growing. Would you be willing to get on a call with me for 30 minutes so we could talk about what you're doing so well? Okay, that guy was Chad. Chad is a physical therapist who was also really great at growing his business. And now Carl and Chad and Josh are all business partners in this physical therapy business that they built. Okay, so here's the cool thing. We're showing you case studies here of people who have gone out, taken the roadmap, and done something with it. But what I wanted to share with you is that we're going to give people a roadmap. But Carl did a very simple thing in that he got a response that most people would have moved on from. And instead of moving on, he said, let's talk about why you're so good at what you're doing instead of see you later. And now he's got the foundation, no pun intended, but maybe pun intended. Now he's got the foundation of a business partner and an expert in that particular industry. And you can imagine how that fuels his growth to not only be a problem-solving expert, to have a business partner who is a respected professional in that field, as well as a respected business owner in that field. All right. So that's the story that I wanted to share with you guys. So Carl's building a massive business that is both software and services. And Amy and Sandy are both building really amazing software companies. Okay. So the cool thing about Carl's business that I want to share with you guys is Carl used the principles of idea extraction and pre-selling, not just to build software, but to build software and then eventually a services business as well. So these processes that we're teaching you guys about pre-selling and idea discovery, we teach you exactly how to use them and apply them to software. But I know that a lot of you guys, the wheels are turning in terms of, I could probably use this in pretty much any industry to build any type of product or service so that I could remove my risk of starting a business by getting the people in the industry to tell me what they want and then getting them to pay me in advance for the solution. Cool.
Boom.
How's that? Boom. Boom.
These guys are free. They're completely free. Like Amy, she literally works from home in her pajamas, helping multi-million-dollar companies. Like that's, to me, just like when you hear stories of people like getting free, it just opens my heart up.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you guys about, once we get into the slide where it's appropriate, I'm gonna tell you guys about how one of the original members of my foundation mastermind, and you guys might not realize that about me now, right? So I run e-commerce business. I have a sales consulting business. I work in this capacity in the foundation, but I also went through the foundation myself almost 3 years ago, right? And once we get to that part, I'm going to tell you guys the story of Catherine Lavery, how an original member of my mastermind went on to grow through the concept of pre-selling to something totally outside of software and has been wildly successful. So hang on, I'm going to give you that in a minute. Yeah. Right, keep going.
All right. So we love to help our students become even more successful. Our students have been featured on places like Under 30 CEO, Business Insider, Smart Passive Income, AppSumo, Forbes, Mixergy, Upstart. You know, you're seeing these logos, you're like, wow, I've seen these before. And it's like, yeah, the foundation has built relationships with people, and it's like you're you're able, once you get to these higher levels of success, where you're able to like leverage our relationships as well to help you. Like, we're here to help you. And it can start to like rest assured and like feel comfortable knowing that like we got your back, and like we want you to be free. So here's the moment of truth. We are absolutely proud to bring the Foundation's Business Accelerator program to you right now. And with your investment of $6,970, you can jumpstart your success to freedom. I know it's going to help you and so many other people achieve the lifelong freedom, abundance, and financial security that you were always designed to have. See, we're also going to offer you the bonus Fast Path to Cash, what I talked to you a little bit about earlier, that John Logar created. And this model, I was there actually when they were shooting the videos for this. It helped me immediately in my business. I was making roughly $3,000 to $5,000 a month per client. And he said, triple your rates, Ryan. You're offering so much value. Triple your rates. You're worth it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, you know. And so I did. I tripled my rates. And then right before I walked into the meeting with this client, this new prospective client, I, rather than multiply it by 3, I multiplied it by 5. So I went from $3,000 a month to $15,000 a month. I went there and I did a presentation like no other marketing company could possibly have done. And because I started finding the painful problems that this business was suffering with in their sales and their marketing, and I penciled it out from an economics way on a spreadsheet so they could visually see how much money that they're leaving on the table. And if I was able to do, you know, these variables, which I showed to them that I was going to do, then they would get this amount of money, save this amount of time, and build their business. And I ultimately did it in a way that I under-promised and then I over-delivered. And it was, I literally blew up their sales from it. It was awesome. So the worst case scenario, let's say you jump in and you take advantage of this opportunity and you start working with us. And 30 days from now, you're not happy. You're not getting results. You're working and it's just like, gosh, guys, like this isn't working for me. I need out. That's great. I understand. There's a 30-day refund policy that we guarantee for everybody. Just shows that you completed the work, that you went through the process, that you actually applied what you did. And what we'll find and what you'll find is you'll never get to this point if you actually do the work. So freedom isn't easy. Freedom takes effort. Freedom takes work. Freedom takes sometimes blood, sweat, and tears. But the reward is so valuable. It's so high. The likely scenario, this is for the average people to come through. The average scenario is you come into the Foundation, you learn some amazing money skills, you learn some information like we just learned tonight, you get your life into alignment with a deeper sense of meaning. You have rock solid business skills that literally are going to help you in any business that you start, whether it's software, consulting, freelancing, coaching, speaking, writing books, whatever. Like this stuff is going to help you in all industries. You'll create relationships with amazing people that'll last years and years and years, maybe the rest of your lifetime. And you'll have access to a network of professionals to get help from, just like Frank and I will help you get through processes that you're running into that are problematic. And there's people that have been down the road before you that can help you overcome those obstacles. If you're on your own, you wouldn't have no idea. You'd have to try out a million things, but you're working with us and we can literally speak into it and then boom, pop out through the other side. Your life will literally be changed forever. Frank, what's the Foundation done for your life? How's it changed your life?
Man, so 3 years ago, I was working in a job that I was a business development professional for software companies. My job was good and I was very good at my job. And what was going on in my life at that time was I was very comfortable, right? So let me tell you guys a little bit about why it's so bad to be comfortable in the way that I was comfortable. Think about the times in your life where it's the highest highs, the greatest achievements, the moments that you look back at and you just feel the energy in your body of, wow, that was amazing. I can't believe I did it. That was so awesome, right? The things that you still talk about with your old friends when you get together about the experiences that you had. One of the common qualities of those types of amazing, memorable experiences or achievements that you've got in life, one of the commonalities that goes through all of that stuff is there is a gateway to get to the richest, most tender, most amazing moments of achievement where you feel totally alive, there's a gateway to those moments. And that gateway is normally uncertainty or feeling uncomfortable or going through fear. Right? So what I knew in my life when I was feeling comfortable is I was not achieving these amazing emotions of being powerful and successful and feeling totally free and alive. The reason that I wasn't feeling those emotions is because I wasn't going through the gateway of getting through uncertainty or fear or being uncomfortable, right? So again, trace back the moments in your life that are amazing. And my guess is that a lot of those amazing moments came directly after you did something in spite of being afraid of it. When you did something in spite of being uncertain of it, when you did something in spite of being uncomfortable with it, right? So the way that I look at achieving the best moments of my life is I usually have to go through a doorway where I feel uncertain or scared or fearful a little bit. And then on the other side of that, I get to experience a whole new spectrum of emotion and success and achievement. Okay, so the reason that I left my job 3 years ago was because I wasn't experiencing those big moments because I was so comfortable on a day-to-day basis, right? So I was making good enough money. I had a flexible work arrangement, but I wanted to experience the big emotions in life. And I knew that in order to do that, I needed to be a little bit uncomfortable. I needed to go through that certainty and act in spite of fear rather than let the fear drive me. So I decided to go through the foundation 3 years ago. And believe me, I got very uncomfortable. I was very uncertain. I was very fearful to do things that I had never done before. Right. And then ultimately, when I left that job to experience entrepreneurship full time, my parents told me, are you sure you should do this? You're making good money. You're almost 30 years old. Are you sure you should leave this job that you're good at, that you're experiencing success with, that you're respected in your industry? And I had to go in the face of that, of people telling me not to do it. I had to go in the face of feeling uncertain that I could do it. I had to go in the face of feeling a little bit fearful to do it because I knew that on the other side of those uncomfortable or fearful emotions, there was going to be a whole new spectrum of emotions available to me. So that's why I did it personally 3 years ago, is because I knew I had to walk through those moments of feeling scared or uncertain in order to experience the kind of things that I wanted from that big vision that I had in life, right? From that unreasonable vision that I had out of life. I knew I had to be a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit uncertain to do it. So I did it. And here we are today.
Boom, boom. All right. I'm going to open up the offer for everyone. And we have a special offer tonight. Before I launch that special offer, this is good. This is something that's very rare for us to do, but you guys are on a very special night. And I want to show you this. But before we jump into that, let me share with you the best case scenario. You know, Carl Matiola, who built a business to around $3,000 a month, quit his job at Tesla and now operates in upwards of 7 figures. Told about John Logar, $120,000 of pre-sales in 6 months by applying the idea extraction that we taught you tonight. Catherine Levy, $25,000 in Kickstarter campaign she ran. She even doing more. Like Frank was telling me, like over 200,000, I think you said in the on the last.
Yeah. So when we made this slide, this was a little bit out of date. So actually, Catherine did her third Kickstarter in August of 2015. So just last year. And her and her business partner, Alan Brower, who are both part of my original mastermind from the foundation 3 years ago, they did $325,000 in sales on Kickstarter in 30 days.
This is what we do, people. This is how we help the world. We're making a big impact. All right. So we have testimonials and testimonials. 1,500 plus students have gone through our program. Like just endless amount of success. And I want you guys to know this is achievable. It's possible for you. It's possible. Just like the 4-minute mile, quotes after quotes after quotes, testimonials. Like people, we're making such an impact in the world. And I want to tell you something. Today is a special day for you. If you're still on this webinar, like a lot of you are, today we put together a Jumpstart offer because we want to help you get started building a business, to provide you with a life full of freedom. Immediately, you can start learning the skills you need to build the freedom businesses you want. And we're dropping the price to a one-time investment of $4,995. And for the next 12 hours, there's this little offer that popped up for you. In the next 12 hours, we're running a special opportunity. It's for those who need to move quickly to create more income. And we created a one-time pricing plan of $500 a month for 12 months. Now this is a one-time opportunity for you to take advantage of this on this webinar right here, right now. It's $500 a month for 12 months. We've made this so achievable for you guys. Put skin in the game, invest in yourself. We believe in you. We know it's possible for you. I know it's so possible for you. When you have the right tools, the right process, the right people behind you, helping you overcome the barriers, success becomes inevitable. It becomes possible. So act now. When you sign up right now, you'll also get a Jumpstart coaching call to onboard your success with one of our team members. $500 value. It's really cool. You get lifetime access to my business dashboard. Lifetime access. It's normally $2,500 or $2,400 a year, but you get that forever. And you also get a 30-minute one-on-one business strategy consulting call with me. We're just making this super, super sweet for you, and we only have 10 spots available. Okay? Great deal. Awesome opportunity. And Frank, do you want to say anything in feeding into this, letting people know, like,
yeah, so most people, and I can see you guys, Matthew, like everybody, I love you guys, right? So you're thinking right now about the cost of doing something like this. And first off, let me make sure that I preface this. If you don't have the money, then you don't have the money, right? And that's okay, right? What we're talking about here is if you do have the money, what is the cost of not taking action on something like this? And I walk people through a very simple exercise. I'll do it with round numbers, right? So let's say you're making $5,000 a month right now, and your ultimate goal is $10,000 a month, right? That means there's a gap of $5,000 per month, right? So the gap per year is now $60,000 a year, right? So the way that I want you guys to think about this is two ways, right? There's, of course, the cost that you pay out to this, but then there's the cost of not taking action on something that you feel is going to get you to where you're looking to go, right? So in my example, if you take $10,000 as your goal and you're making $5,000 right now, so the differential in your life is $5,000, which means after 1 year of inaction, it costs you $60,000. 2 years of inaction costs you $120,000. So again, I'm not telling you to do this if you don't know deep and down into your gut that it's the right thing for you, right? The foundation is built up of people who know deep down in their gut that this is the right thing for them. And if it's not the right thing for you, I love you for joining us, and I love you no matter what, right? But for those of you who know deep down that this is the right thing for you, I want you to weigh not just what you pay, but the cost of not acting in the face of your uncertainty or your uncomfortableness, right? And then I also want you to consider, what have you missed out in life because of not being able to act in the face of feeling uncertain or uncomfortable of fear, right? What woman did you not go up and talk to? What did that cost you in life? What business opportunity did you not jump on, and what did that cost you in life, right? When you didn't say you loved someone to somebody who you love and they're gone now, what did that cost you, right? So again, I just want you guys to consider, I'm not trying to say that this is the right thing for everyone. It's absolutely not. But you know by now if it's the right thing for you, if you reach down deep into your gut. And I want you to also be weighing what it costs and what it costs not to do something if this is what's for you. Ryan, tell us what we're getting.
Here's what you're getting, everyone. You're getting access to the accelerated learning platform to jumpstart your success faster. Step-by-step processes and exactly what you need to do in order to get your freedom business running for you. A simple step-by-step process of exactly what to do to build a freedom business. I just said that. All right, you're gonna get you're gonna get information on mindset. When you start to tune your mindset, you can start to see the world differently. You start to see abundance everywhere, and you start to see literally money growing on trees because there's so many problems out there. But if you don't have the mind tuned to see these things, they don't exist to you yet. Just like we went through a process tonight, we taught you a mindset shift so you can start to see problems as opportunities, right? You're also going to get access to idea extraction. I mean, there's videos, there's hours and hours of videos on everything in here. And the idea extraction will help you start to pull out ideas from a marketplace, and then we'll teach you how to sketch solutions in a way that is compelling and drives pre-sales. So it is cake, it's moving easily. and then ultimately helping you build the product and outsourcing the building of the product, because you don't want to do it yourself. You want to outsource that so you can focus on growing your business while the developer is building the product for you. And then we'll teach you how to grow fastly, quickly, and we'll teach you how to grow your business faster than ever before. You know, what took Dane Maxwell 6 years, Carl Maniola did in 2 to 3. It's like we're making it faster and easier. Just like more people are beating Richard, beating the 4-minute mile even more so, because human development and evolution is just happening. You get access to mentor coaching. You get community of support. You don't have to feel alone. You can feel empowered. You get live on the spot examples and walkthroughs. There's recordings of idea extraction calls that you can listen to of real life stuff to help you. You can do be a part of the mastermind groups to like work back and forth and role play. You get monthly webinars from top business advisors to ignite your success. You're getting a total business success package. There is nothing out there in the world like this. I can guarantee you that. Andre gave a great testimonial. He said something that really just touched my heart before he joined, or after he joined. He said, it was really simple, or it was simple, really. I joined the foundation because I wanted the fast track route to building a SaaS solution. Job done, delivered in spades. If you value your time, get this. It's simple. Of course, you can take the do-it-yourself route and bootstrap your education. In that case, you need to get running lean, get the lean startup, get the startup owner's manual, get the lean entrepreneur, get the lean analytics, get the lean UX, and get business model generation. It'll cost you $100 or so. But then you got to read for months and months and months and then put everything together, and like it becomes numbing craziness of trying to join the dots. And that's just the lean methodologies. That doesn't account for how to find a developer for your badass software, your business, how to rig the deal in your favor, and most importantly, how to set up your marketing machine and how to reach the best customers. If you're smart and you want the A to Z blueprint with the kick-ass community to boot, this will be a no-brainer for you. Stop pissing around and pull the trigger. Invest in the foundation and invest in yourself. So this is where we come into a little warning. You know, what's the cost of not acting? Frank talked about this a little bit earlier, and I want to give you one warning too. You can waste a lot of time and energy doing this by yourself without much support and guidance, or you can do this with us. We're here to help you. We're here to give you love. We're here to help you through the hard times, and we're here to celebrate with you during the great times. With us, you could make more progress in 6 months than most people do in 6 years. How old will you be in 6 years' time? Do you want to live 6 years from now the same way you're doing? So this sort of solution is an accelerator. It's way worth more than $6,000. It's way worth more than the $500 a month for the 12 months, because it's going to save you time. It's going to create wealth for you. You will be abundant in your life. You saw your 5 options to build a software company. None are ideal. What I'm proposing to you is a way out. What Frank is proposing to you is a way out. What 1,500 other entrepreneurs who went through the foundation are proposing to you is a way out. And if you're worth the commitment and want to join us, make the decision to invest in yourself right now, because it will bring the largest ROI that you could possibly calculate in a lifetime. I can promise you this. The only thing you'll regret is not making the decision today. Foundation's changed my life in more ways than I could possibly say on here. I've gone from some of the hardest hardships to a place of abundance and opportunity and prosperity. And I'm so grateful. And I'm here on this webinar to share this gift with you because it was shared with me. It will change absolutely everything for you. Frank, give me some of your wisdom, man. Give me some of your love.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, my story with the foundation is personal because the foundation is family for me. So when I joined the foundation, I was part of a mastermind of 8 people, and 7 out of 8 people at that time were full-time employees, right? Catherine Lavery, who you guys just heard about, did the $325,000 Kickstarter. Catherine Lavery was the only full-time entrepreneur at that point. And by full-time entrepreneur, I mean, she had a little design business called Calm the Ham that was doing a little bit of money, but she was by no means a full-blown entrepreneur, right? So 7 out of 8 of us were employees and wanting to have a vehicle to freedom. And here we are, fast forward 3 years later, 8 out of 8 of us are full-time entrepreneurs. 8 out of 8 of us are still ridiculously close friends. I just stayed at a house in West Palm Beach, Florida with Catherine Lavery and my sister for a business mastery event with Tony Robbins, right? So Catherine and I have jokes about having the same sweatpants matching. Catherine and I have the same mugs that we drink out of every single morning. Catherine's business partner, Alan, and I have man talks every single Thursday. We did man talks every single Thursday without skipping a day for the last 60 weeks. Okay, my good friend Steve Earle came to Chicago for an entire month last July, and Steve, Catherine, and I went sailing. We rented a sailboat on Lake Michigan. Okay, my friend Fabiana lives in Paraguay, and we meet up in Miami. My friend Fabiana and I went to Awesomeness Fest together in Mexico. My friend Juliana started the foundation in Australia, moved to San Diego, and now lives a mile away from me in Chicago, and I see her twice a week, right? So these are all people who were part of my initial mastermind who are now still my mastermind, but they're some of my closest friends in life. So ultimately for me, the foundation is family. Aside from what it's given me in terms of freedom, aside from the fact that it changed the trajectory of what's possible in my life, it gave me some of the closest friends imaginable, and they're friends who understand me at my core, right? My core is I love building businesses. I love creating impact. I love growing and challenging myself. So I get to have it all, right? I get to surround myself with these great people, not just because they're amazing business people, but because they're some of my closest friends in the world. So yeah, I love the foundation.
I do too, man. I do too. It's taking me from the places. Yeah, just amazing. Oh man. All right, guys. So I hear a question. What if I don't have the money? What if I'm? What if I don't? What if I can't come up with it? I'm a student, and you know, I understand that mindset, and I understand being in that place, and like I was there too, and a lot of our students were as well. And what I found is like you can come up with the money, and there's a way of doing it in a way of giving value. And if you apply what you learned tonight and go take action on that, you can literally come up with a way of coming up with the $500 a month to invest in this. This will be the best return on investment you could possibly make. And you know, just absorb everything you possibly can, and we'll send out the slides and help you through that. For the people who do have the money, who want to jumpstart, who want the success faster, and are willing to invest in themselves and capable of doing that, I just urge you to take this opportunity that we're providing tonight and join us on the other side. So this is worth it. You get a huge offer that we've never really offered before, and I would love for you to join us. Cool. Well, Frank, any questions? Anybody? I'd love to hear where everybody's at.
Yeah. So here's what I always, when people ask me what to do if I can't afford it, what I do is all of a sudden that becomes part of my fuel. Okay. That becomes part of my vision. So number one, what I want you guys to really do after we get off this call, if you're telling yourself I can't afford it, and that might be a reality in one of two ways. It might be the actual reality, or it might be the reality that you're creating for yourself. So the first thing that I want you guys to do is really go through that vision exercise that I taught you, right? Which is, what do I ultimately want? How committed am I? What are the roadblocks? And then I'm asking myself, are these roadblocks real, or am I imagining them? Are they real, or are they belief systems that I've got, right? So first get clear on that. Okay. The next thing, because now every day you're going to be driven by that vision. And what I would ask myself is, if I truly want to join the foundation, right, I have an opportunity now to grow and challenge myself to make $500 extra per month, right? So you have the opportunity now to go and do what it takes to make $500 extra per month, right? And here's the cool thing about that. I really love this, right? Because if you take the steps to figure out a way to make $500 extra per month, you're going to massively grow. And all of a sudden, when you've gotten to $5,000, now you're going to have a decision to make. Do you want to keep doing that, or do you want to jump back into the foundation, right? So the cool thing is that either way, if you set a goal and commit to hitting that goal, one of two things is going to happen. right? You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. But here's the benefit to that. You're going to learn what works and you're going to learn what doesn't work. And the process of being an entrepreneur is learning what works and learn what doesn't work enough time so you can do more of what works, right? So what I'm telling you is, who cares if you can't afford it right now? You wake up tomorrow and you say, I'm going to start taking action to make an extra $100 a month. And you just learn what works and you learn what doesn't work. And you continue doing that, because that's what it means to be an entrepreneur, is that you take massive action, you figure shit out in the face of uncertainty and fear. Oh, I love it. We've got some like mastermind connections happening here. Matt, what do we got? Even LinkedIn. Boom, Mark, I don't even need to be a first level connection for you. I'll just join a group that you're in and then send you a direct message. Boom.
It's so great. You seeing how we're just like, this energy is just creating connections and relationships just by us doing this free webinar for people. Now, if you can see the power that's just happening inside of this webinar, now imagine what's happening inside of the foundation. It's just exponentially greater, exponentially greater.
Matthew, I see your question. Do you think we can do the foundation process without actually going through the foundation? So allow me to pose a question to you, because this is what really matters. Do you think you can? That's all that matters. You dig? Yeah, you dig. I know you, Matthew. I know you dig. Unless that's another Matthew that I don't know. In which case, tell me if you understand what I just meant. Josh, what do you mean? Anything that previous students have done that has worked? What do you mean by that?
Hasn't or has?
Josh, my man, if you're still with us, drop us a clarification on that. I'm a little stumped. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm going to connect with you guys on Facebook too. Travis, here I come.
Yep, absolutely.
Mark, I'll send you a message on LinkedIn. What else are you guys doing? Dig into the material. Ibrahim, thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
All right, should we do our quiz drawing? Doesn't look like many questions are coming up.
Yeah, no questions are coming in. So, right, if you guys have been taking notes, remember, Ryan promised at the beginning to give away $2,400 worth of a subscription for free to his analytics software. All right, so we've got one question that we're going to ask, and the first person that answers it in the chat is going to get this amazing gift from Ryan. Ryan, are you already thinking of a question?
I was hoping you're going to pose a question. You had a great one on the last webinar.
I did have a great one on the last one. Okay, I've got a good one. So this one's really cool. Actually, it's not really cool. It's the only one that I can think of right now. So how many people ran the 4-minute mile in the year following Roger Bannister breaking the record? Right? So we talked about this process of it was impossible in all of human history. And then all of a sudden, Roger Bannister gets it done in 1954. And then in the next year, X amount of people ran a sub 4-minute mile. What is the answer to that? And you guys are just Googling it right now. We're on the honesty policy, but yeah, my man C wins.
Boom. All right.
Kieran, we got you. You are the winner. Congratulations. Hallelujah. And we got some crazy numbers going on here, so I confused some people. Guys, the correct answer that Kieran got is 27, right? Cool. So Roger Bannister ran the sub 4-minute mile in 1954 in the next year. 27 people also ran a sub 4-minute mile, right? So remember, ultimately, the message behind that, which is why I asked that particular question. The message behind it is they believed that it was possible, so it became possible for them. So that's why I wanted to loop back around to that.
Very good. And I'll send access to the software to your Gmail account, and you'll get an email here probably within the next 2 to 3 minutes on access to that. Enjoy that software. I love it royally. We use it for the foundation. I also use it for a ton of clients, myself as well. Powerful stuff.
He's going to be joining us too as well. Yeah, you're welcome, dude. He's going to be joining us in the foundation in a few days. I talked to him earlier today. He's just ironing some stuff out. So we're glad to have that in your hands, man.
Very good. Very good. All right. That went out. Okay. Anything else we need to wrap up with to close this webinar down?
Thank you guys for, right, like you guys invested at this point. I mean, still, like hardly anyone has left at this point. You guys invested 2 hours in being on here, right? So the best thing that you can do for yourself is write down at least one thing that you're going to take immediate action on and put it on your calendar. Okay, so here's the way that I consume massive amounts of information, but then integrate it. Right. So anytime I read a book, go to a seminar, have a conversation with an interesting person, I always immediately write down the one thing that I'm going to implement immediately. And then I put a calendar invitation, or excuse me, I put a calendar event on day, start taking action on that new piece of information that I learned. Right. So you guys can get the most out of this investment that you made of your time. And remember, time is more valuable ultimately than money. So you invested something very valuable in tonight. So the best thing that you can do for yourself is write down one thing that's going to move the needle in your life and put it on your calendar so that you're going to actually do it and integrate it. Right. So if you've got questions about what's going on, if you're ready for it, like if you dig deep down, come and join us at the foundation. Right? If you're not ready, if you're not at that level, take one piece of information and go out there and implement it in your life. And what I want to encourage you guys to remember is that as you go out there and taking action, it's not meant to be easy, right? Problems never disappear for an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, what you're actually all about is upgrading your problems levels. Right. So you go from my problem is I have 0 customers to my problem is I only have 5 customers to eventually your problem is you have so many customers that your customer service hasn't been being able to keep up with the amount of customers that you've got, right? So the ability to be an entrepreneur is not the absence of problems. It's not to create an environment problem free. It's designed for people who are able to solve problems and upgrade their problems.
All right, I've got a few good questions. Like, how can I buy the foundation later if I can't get access to it now? Let's drop a link to your call. Would you guys like to talk with Frank?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a link for you guys so that you can schedule time to talk with me, right? So if you want to talk with me personally on a one-on-one level about what's going on, about what it's going to look like for you to join the foundation, I'm dropping my scheduling link right there. Right. So before anyone else types in there, copy and paste that if you want to make a call with me. Right. Or actually, you don't need to copy and paste it. All you need to do is click on it because it's a link. See, I know things about the internet. So you can click on that link and it's got my availability so you can schedule time with me on the phone. Right. So what I'm also going to do, because I love you all, is if you don't find a time on that link that works for you or is not as fast as you are, right, send me an email and we'll make it happen. Okay, so 2 things here that I'm giving you. Number 1, schedule a time with me. Number 2, if there's not a time that's soon enough for you, send me an email and we'll make it happen tomorrow. Matthew, are you allowed a Skype call? Matthew, send me an email. Send me an email. We'll talk. We'll get it set up.
Cool, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Just curious, for everybody left on the webinar, who is interested in joining the foundation? If not now, maybe at a later time. Just go ahead and press 1 and tell us like who's interested, and then maybe what's kind of holding you back right now. We'd love to help you. And for those who've already purchased, I just want to give you a thank you so much. I'm so excited to be working with you guys, helping you grow your businesses and being successful, creating that freedom that you deeply desire, and we've all desired. All right, everyone, thank you so much. One, Timothy, Abram, yes, guys, this is great.
Money, yeah. Stuart, Mike, Ian, hey, little known fact, is that you, Ian? Or were we supposed to have a call earlier today, but then we kind of got our times crossed up? He's in Vietnam Vietnam if that's the case, right? So like no problem. He's got an excuse. We had just a little bit of a problem getting our time zones right, but man, you're a champ. So you came on the webinar. So dude, if you want to talk again, right, put time on my calendar, shoot me an email. But ultimately, if you guys know what to do and you're ready to do it, let's do it. Yeah, LaFrance. Is that how I say your name? LaFrance. I like it. Money's holding you back. It's not always going to be holding you back. You're in Vietnam. Yeah, I thought you were in Vietnam. It said that on Skype. Dale, I remember it, dude.
All right, everyone. For anybody who has questions later on and they want to know if they can join later, go ahead and you have access to Frank. You can also email support@thefoundation.com, and our team of support can help you as well. We are packed, racked, stacked, and fully available to help you in this process. So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. I am so grateful that you came on with us tonight. It has been an honor, an absolute honor. And Frank, working with you, my brother, my man. I just met this guy in person for the first time, like 3-4 weeks ago? Dude.
Yeah, just over a month ago.
We had so much fun in Austin. So much fun. You would think we're like best friends right now. And we are because of the foundation.
Now we're in real life friends and internet friends.
Oh, I love it. Awesome, guys. All right. I am going to go eat some food. I haven't eaten today. I'm hungry and I'm excited. So, Frank, any other last words of wisdom?
I love you guys. Thank you again for investing your time in this. We've been here a long time. Take action on something that you've learned. If you're ready to go, if you know deep down in your gut, let's do it. If not, shoot me an email, schedule some time to talk with me, email support. We're here to support you guys.
Peace.
Good night, everybody, or good morning to people in Vietnam and Australia.